Week 5 of the Northern Super League kicks off with a tilt from the nation's capital. Two teams coming off draws over the weekend, both hungry for victory tonight. It's the Ottawa Rapid FC hosting Vancouver Rise FC from TD Place Stadium. I'm Signa Butler alongside Canadian Youth International Jess Lisi on a 22-degree cloudy evening at TD Place Stadium, where Ottawa had their first victory of the season. And speaking of Ottawa, coming off a draw against Calgary, where they had the Young Player of the Week really stand out, Stella Downing.
Yeah, absolutely. She was a standout. I thought that Ottawa put a very good performance forward. They were very front-footed. There was a lot of attack from their side, a lot of variety in it, and I think Stella Downing was a huge part of that. She's somebody that gives 100% of the time on both sides of the ball, and we saw that come alive in the last matchup with her energy. So just excited to see her grow.
And as for Vancouver, this player, Sam Chang, was injured to start the season, but she's really come into her own, especially the last two matches.
Yeah, we focus so much on the Vancouver Rise side midfield, and I think Sam Chang has been such an impact. She just adds to that roster, and she's able to create a lot for them in the attack. We saw her in the last match get in those half spaces, create a lot of offensive opportunities for them, so she's definitely a bright spot for them.
Well, we mentioned both of these teams coming off draws after the weekend play. Both teams on 3 days rest as well. So some changes in the lineup to tell you about down the road. But as for the standings right now, it is still the Montreal Roses on top with 10 points. These teams fighting for those 3 points today, Jess.
Yeah, I think both of these teams have showed a lot of their quality throughout their matchups. One thing that they're both sort of missing at this moment is just that clinical final finish. So I would really love to see them both come alive in that final third today and be able to hit the back of the net and see someone walk away with those 3 points.
Well, and certainly the fans would love to see some goals in the back of the net. And I know Katrina Peterson of the Ottawa Rapid FC, her team was 17 shots against Calgary over the weekend. Would love to see some of those go in the net. Well, the fans are lining up here to see their hometown squad, the Ottawa Rapid FC, and can they pick up a second victory? The NSL on CBC Gem continues just ahead. We'll have the starting 11s for you and kickoff. Stay with us. More to come. Just ahead in Northern Super League action, we'll have Ottawa Rapid FC hosting Vancouver Rise FC from TD Place Stadium in beautiful nation's capital of Canada, Ottawa. As the teams line up for today, let's take you through the starting 11. One change from Ottawa for their match against Calgary. Susanna Holland coming out, but who would you like to highlight?
Yeah, I think when we look at this Ottawa side, you're typically talking about a player like Mina or Pridham. They're such great players, but I really want to highlight Chu. I think that she was massive for them. Sometimes those players go overlooked. The work that they do goes overlooked, and I think that she was instrumental to getting forward and creating attack for them. She was a very bright spot, and I think that she'll be huge today in transitional moments and as well as just creating that overload.
Well, we had a chance to catch up with Kayla Adamak, who's had her share of positioning. She's played fullback and she's played midfield. Here's more from her. Kayla, thanks for joining us. Overall, the last match was a great showing against Calgary on the road. What lessons did you take from that match that you can use towards a victory against Vancouver today?
Yeah, I think we were able to play more our style and show what we've been working on in trainings. So we're hoping to continue that against Vancouver, trying to keep more possession and longer attacks.
Your coach, Katrina Peterson, said she'd like the team to be on the front foot, especially in those opening 30 minutes. What do you do personally to make sure you're dialed in those early moments of the game?
Yeah, I just want to bring the energy, bring leadership, show how I want the team to play, and hopefully that motivates them to play the same.
Awesome. Thanks for this. Good luck today.
Thank you.
Vancouver starting 11. Well, 4 changes, and the big ones come in midfield. Quinn and Nikki Stanton unavailable today, Jess.
Yeah, I think this is a big moment for Hagman and Longhurst to be able to step up and show what they're all about. But I just want to turn the attention to DiFilippo. I think that obviously, she came in clutch for them in the last matchup in that final minute. But just aside from her goal, she brought so much energy and she made such a big impact. She brought a lot of fierceness to the attack. She was on her front foot. She wasn't allowing Toronto's back line to really build out. She's also very good coming off the front, and she's very active in and around that 18. So I think that she's going to be huge for them, and I'm excited to see her get her first start.
Well, one player we've been talking about a lot this season, she'll start the game on the bench, is Holly Ward, and we caught up with her ahead of the game. Holly, thanks for joining us. This is the 5th match of the season, and you're playing against a very organized Ottawa Rapid team. What's going to be the key for the Rise to break down their side today?
I think we've had a lot of work on our offense, and I think we have a lot more to show than we did in the past other games. We've had a lot of good moments, and I think defensively we're a really good team, and I think we just have a lot more to show offensively. So I think we're going to bring that today and hopefully bring back 3 points.
You're a first-year pro. I'm just wondering how you feel your game has progressed game to game since you've joined the NSL.
Honestly, I think it's just confidence and becoming comfortable with who I'm playing with, and I don't know, it is my first year, so everything I'm experiencing is new for me, but it's all fun, and I love my coaching staff and my teammates are so supportive. So it's just I'm getting more comfortable with myself and playing on the field with whoever I'm playing with. So it's been really fun. I think every game I'm just getting better, and I'm excited to keep doing that.
Well, we've loved watching you, and best of luck tonight.
Thank you so much.
There is Holly Ward and her Vancouver Rise team getting ready for a road match against the Ottawa Rapid FC. Vancouver in the midst of a 4-game over 2-week period of time. So Anya Heiner-Moller, their coach, telling us that there'd be plenty of rotation in their squad. They've taken a look at their starting 11s for the course of the next 4 matches to try and balance things out. And as for the Ottawa Rapid, not many changes there. Susanna Holland, who took a couple knocks, will start on the bench, but available today. Katrina Peterson setting her watch to the time as Ottawa Rapid kick things off to start the day, putting pressure right on Jasmine Spencer. Melanie Forbes giving chase. So there's the Vancouver Rise in their sunshine kits, the teal, yellow, and black. The road team today going from right to left. And the Ottawa Rapid in that blue on black with a little bit of green. As the blue smoke disperses, Adamek looking up the pitch to DB Pridham. Peterson wanted her team to be on the front foot, as they have been in the first 30 minutes of this match. Adamek tackled hard by Paczerski, and that'll be a free kick.
This would be a huge opportunity for Ottawa. We've seen so many times already in this league the difference that a set piece can make, and has the ability to change the entirety of the match. So I do think that this would be huge for them to be able to capitalize. It is early on, but these are the moments that can come back to bite you. So I would love to see them get on this. We do know that they're a hungry side, and they're very capable of putting the ball in there. Chu
with the service. Chu across the header. Oh! That was pretty close, went right between Liv Scott and DB Pridham.
Yeah, that's what you want. You want players crashing the box. This is a great delivery in. It was perfectly hit, just the right amount of float, but also a bit of pace to it. It unfortunately went right by Olivia Scott, but I do think that that's a good moment for them, and it's going to continue to grow each set piece. You just need to have that aggressiveness in the box and have that mentality.
Headed on by Jess DiFilippo. DiFilippo shielding, and hard tackle by Ellen Gibson, who wanted a little dive into the pool, but.
And I do think that's what Jess DiFilippo is going to bring to this game. She's very brave. She wants the ball at her feet. She's going to drop low to get it if she's not able to get it staying a little higher up the pitch. So I do think that she's going to bring a different opportunity to this attack for the Vancouver side.
Chang. Mariah Lee. That'll be a battle to watch today. Lee versus Chu.
It's going to be a fun one.
Chang finds some room. It crosses in, headed away by Harris. Lee. Edged off the ball by Scott. There's Anya Heiner-Moller, head coach of the Vancouver Rise, returning to Vancouver after 5 years as an academy coach. I've been working for Denmark FA in various roles, and both of these coaches tonight from Denmark, they're our friends, they know each other. They actually played on the Danish national team together for a brief period of time.
Love a good, fun, friendly rivalry.
Longhurst pass off the mark to Pridham. Downing giving chase. Is that too far? It is.
I think one thing that Vancouver has to very much be aware of today, and you saw it in the last game break down a few times for them, they have to be a lot more decisive in their back four with their decision making. And when they do finally make that decision on who to pass to or where that pass is going, they need to be precise in it. And I think that it would be in Ottawa's best interest to really apply that high pressure and test them because they were coughing up quite a few balls in that game against Toronto.
Ottawa getting the call. Desiree Scott putting the boot back on.
That's the worst. No matter how tight you tie them sometimes, it'll slip right off.
Harris. The ball was there, but it's offside. Forbes just a little bit behind the line.
That ability to switch the point of attack is also something that we saw really come alive for Ottawa in their last game. They had a lot of variety in the attack, and Coach Peterson has mentioned wanting her team to be a lot more front-footed and live in the opponent's half, and I think that they've done that in their past matches, specifically in the first half. And I think that will be huge, having that variety in the attack, being able to live in between the lines, but also switch the point of attack will be big for them finding success today.
Referee Carly Shaw McLaren having some words with Melanie Forbes in the early going. There's just 6 minutes into the match. Wanting to settle things down early. Hagman. He tried to flick on, and Chu handles that. Pridham. Mina Lee. This is Downing. Uh-oh. That's trouble. Erickson well off her line. And getting the ball up to Downing. That could have been dangerous. Little indecisive from Liv Scott. Cross in. And Spencer will let that run by.
I was going to mention before that sort of changed a little bit, but I was going to mention you saw Chu get up, but you're also seeing Mina be very effective in movement off the ball, and that's what she's so great at when she does have the ball. It's the quick little creativity that she does to evade pressure and keep the ball for her side, but she wants the ball. You'll see her really floating and just creating space for not only herself to find it, but also for her teammates to potentially get on there and create something. You're also noticing this Ottawa side is defending in a 4-4-2. So you're seeing Mina really step forward with Pridham alongside her and making it a lot more difficult to have two people high pressing you in that central role.
Lee manages to get the ball through, but Pecherski's on it now, pushing forward.
To not force it, not having numbers forward, but still retain possession.
Desiree Scott, a nice ball out to Chu. Finding Pridham. Tried to get by Wright, and Wright did well to get that ball out, but it's right back in the middle of the midfield with Desiree Scott.
About 10 minutes in, and I think right now both these sides are really trying to find their footing. We're seeing a lot of great build-up, but just that execution of the final pass or the simple pass is off right now. And I do think that right now it's pretty even. You're seeing both sides really want it, and just sort of trying to come alive and find that unity amongst their team.
Right. Going back to McCaslin. Spencer taking a touch inside. Hagman trying for the switch, but Chu is there. Gibson, the through ball. Onto it is Forbes. Forbes, the cross across goal, and it's in! JB Pridham! A team goal to get the Ottawa Rapid up early in the 11th minute, and it's DB Pridham again.
That was an absolute team goal. A great combination play, great recognition to realize that Spencer was a little too high and caught out of position. Good turn here, being able to find Forbes, who looks up, realizes, hey, I'm not going to try this from here. I'm going to find Pridham, who's crashing the box, putting her body on the line, and just doing what she does best, which is getting the ball in the back of the net. Great execution from her side. We just spoke about wanting to see that clinicalness from them, and that was great. That was exactly what we want to see.
Well, the young fans on hand like to see that early lead. Ottawa gave their fans a victory at home against AFC Toronto in their home opener. Start the season, it's just their 4th game of the season.
I think one thing too that's going to be huge for this Vancouver side is going to be Spencer really finding that balance between when to go and when to stay. I think that she's been phenomenal with that throughout the entirety of the season so far. I think last match we saw her cheat a little too much. She was getting pulled out, and she was getting caught in not only transitional moments, but as you saw in that goal, she was just a little too far forward, and it leaves that big gap for players like Forbes to be able to expose the back line. And if Coward is too late to step across, there has to be better communication between Coward and Spencer to be able to really hold her in and not release her time and time again. Just picking those moments is going to be huge for them, so they aren't able to be caught.
Harris. Mina with the turn. Adamic. Harris had Forbes, but the touch was off. And that was something that Coach Peterson was saying about Jalissa Harris, is that she has that ability to really switch play. She's really that leader back there that can pilot the attack even from back at that center back position.
She definitely makes a big impact for them in that back line, a big leader, a big voice. Coach Peterson mentioned she's very vocal and helps really lead that back line to success. And contributes to the attack, as we've seen.
Howard under some pressure from DB Pridham. Filippo laying off. Eichmann finding Longhurst. DeFilippo taken down. Erickson looking forward, handled. Scott.
You're already seeing sort of a shift in Ottawa's confidence to really live on the ball. Of course, they're a goal up. That gives you a bit more confidence to play with it and just swing it and be patient. But this is something that they've been great at. They're very organized. Again, seeing Mina just float into those wide channels. She's everywhere. She is definitely the playmaker for this side. And I think that if they continue to have this patience, but also have that front-footedness that we've seen, it's going to be a very good night for them.
Jasmine Spencer has played 90 minutes every single match for the Vancouver Rise. And no surprise, she was quite the Iron Woman in the NWSL as well. Playing the advantage here. Chang laying off to right. Lee earns the throw. Longhurst. Spencer, top of the box. He had a nice screamer from the top of the box against Halifax earlier this season.
Play almost the role we've seen Quinn play, really being that outlet, dropping low in that 6 role, where you have Longhurst and Chang really getting forward. They're sort of rotating that 8 and 10 role of who will come and get the ball and who will sort of break the line. Right now, I think that overall they're doing pretty well. Of course, these 3 players haven't necessarily gotten to know each other as well, and it's a big moment for them. And I think that they're all very talented in their own respect, and we've seen even so far in the 17 minutes they are a pairing that can really hold their own.
Hagman, of course, with that beautiful delivery to Jess DiFilippo in the final minute of the game against AFC Toronto on Sunday. DiFilippo, nice movement to get forward. Lee by herself against 2.
You look at the numbers that Ottawa has in and around that box when Jess DiFilippo gets on the ball. She has very little options, so I would love to see a bit more support underneath her, coming from Chang, coming from Longhurst, or potentially Hagman if she decides to get a little further up the pitch, but I just don't think that there's enough support around her when she does have her back to goal, and Ottawa's doing a very good job at staying compact and having those numbers swarm her.
Vancouver throw. Some physical challenges 20 minutes into this match.
Not sure I've ever seen Adam back down from a physical challenge.
When our pregame interview, we were trying to get her to say, how do you get into the game? Is it a hard tackle? But
she might have not said it, but we definitely have seen it. We've seen it. We spoke so much about wanting to see this back line really become decisive, and that's what we want. That's what you want from Weller. You want the confidence, you want the recognition, because you know it's there. So being able to find right on that overlapping run on the flank, that's how they're going to find a lot of opportunities, get crosses in the box, and potentially get one on the board. It's a good recovery by Chang.
that was one thing that Anya Heiner-Moller says about, her midfield. Quinn, that swinging player, obviously unavailable tonight. Nikki Stanton providing some service in the midfield, that great experience and the delivery of service on corner kicks, etc. But Sam Chang gives that ability to be box to box, really has that handles and is able to push forward. Ball given up though here. DB Pridham pushing forward. As Downing tries for the far post, but past the arms of McCaslin, but the young Vancouver native, Stella Downing, with an opportunity.
We highlighted Downing earlier and her ability to get forward. This is a good ball across. Obviously, nobody is crashing at that moment. They were just a little behind her, but good recognition by Pridham to be able to find her. I would love to see Vancouver's, again, that intensity in the defending and Weller getting across just a little quicker and not allowing her to get that cross off, because had someone been crashing the box, that could have, again, put them down 2 goals. So I think Vancouver just needs a bit more of that intensity in their defensive abilities, specifically in and around their 18-yard box.
Forbes on the corner kick, a sloppy miscue from Vancouver. And the corner kick well out of bounds, so sloppy on both ends. 1-0 for the Rapid in this early going. The goal from DB Pridham. Plenty of time left in this match. And the Vancouver Rise with that last second tie against AFC Toronto know a thing or two about coming back late in games. Spencer reads that. Pechersky. Longhurst going back to Cowart. He pops it up. For Pechersky, Adamek on it. Mina keeping it alive with a bit of skill, which we've seen plenty of times this season, Jess.
Her quickness and her finesse never fails to amaze me. She's so great in tight little spaces. Very little. She needs very little room to be great.
Nice little touch from Mina. But Vancouver has it going forward. Jess DiFilippo looking for a shot. Erickson had to be ready. That was from way out there.
Yeah, we speak about the impact that they have. This is good by Pechersky to be able to find Jess DiFilippo's feet. I was going to say, I think that she could have taken a few steps more, but she was able to hit it from that distance. She knows her ability. She can strike from distance. She's great off the front, so I think why not try it? At that point, that was a great opportunity. She almost got it into the back of the net, and now she gets a corner kick from it, potentially getting on the end of this one, as we've seen. This might be deja vu for them.
Hagman on the corner, the in-swinger. Well out. Right. Pechersky tried to tuck that in, but will go out for a goal kick. Longhurst picks off the pass by Liv Scott. She recovers. Talked about the way that Ottawa defends, but the way that they come forward is also interesting, kind of like a 3-5-2 almost.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Chu get forward a lot of times. They build out with that back three.
DiFilippo going at defenders, looking for a shot again, couple deflections, and Erickson will pick that up.
Just to continue that, Signa, and you see Vancouver, they are giving them the time. They're sort of sitting a little lower, and even when they are a little higher up the pitch, they're not applying high pressure. They're sort of just staying in their zones and letting them know we are here. If you make that, we're going to pick our moments to really apply the highest of pressure to you. You're seeing Lee sort of creep, and now Pechersky getting higher up the pitch. But there were moments where they were sitting a little further back, and Ottawa was able to really build out.
A nice touch from Pechersky to Longhurst. Couldn't squeak through. Mina. A nice recovery from Chang again. Downing switching the play.
Again, here you're seeing them sort of sit in that lower block, trying to pick their moments of when to step out. There's just a bit of hesitancy. If one person does go, you all have to be on board. You have to stay compact and go as a unit.
Well, the freeing pass finds Downing. The cross to DB Pridham, right into the arms of McCaslin, but A transitional moment could have gone the way of the Rapid again. Spencer breaks up that movement by Forbes.
Sam Chang trying to direct her teammates and make sure that they're stepping at the correct moment.
And then winning the ball back. Chang part of the leadership group along with Shannon Weller and Quinn.
She's always been mature and wise beyond her years. Even when we were younger and we had the opportunity to play together, she's a couple years younger than me, but she was always somebody that was such a big leader in not only the way she plays, but also the way she speaks, and she just carries herself with a lot of charisma, and she's very passionate about what she does, and that really helps others, step up their game around her.
I love when she was able to play back home. Of course, she's from Mississauga, Ontario, in front of friends and family at AFC Toronto on Sunday, and all the Chang friends and family with her name on the back. I thought that was a nice moment.
It was. I want one of those sweatshirts.
Lee holding up play. A little too long for Weller. There's Sam Chang. They've been managing her minutes as she's returned from injury, but did start against AFC Toronto.
I also think her leadership role today is huge in that midfield, specifically without having Quinn and Staten in there, and being able to be those big presence with a lot of experience. We are seeing her lead in that midfield, not only Hagman and Longhurst alongside her, but everyone in front of her, and that's what you want. You want a midfielder that's going to communicate to the players that are around her.
Spencer looking forward, covered by Forbes. Forbes does well to win that ball back. And just off the foot of Adamek.
Adamek is another player that has a lot of versatility. You mentioned it before, Signa. We saw her in the last match playing more of that forward wing role, and now having her transition into the fullback role, which is her true position and where she is the most comfortable. But you would never know that she wasn't as comfortable as a winger. She has such versatility in her. Her ability to bring that intensity and that physicality to both sides of the ball is a really big impact for this Ottawa side.
Mina switching to Chu. She was looking for Downing. Just over 30 minutes gone in this opening half. TD Place Stadium in the nation's capital. And it is the Rapid with that 1-0 lead. The goal from DB Pridham. On a cross from Melanie Forbes. If you're just joining us, That's the one you see on the board. And as for the Rise, still getting their footing so far. Again, 4 lineup changes today. 2 big ones coming in the midfield with Quinn and Stanton unavailable.
Again, seeing Ottawa on that front foot, they want to apply that high pressure to Weller and Coward. It's not easy to break out of high pressure, especially when you have players like Pridham and Mina running at you. Doesn't sound like a very fun battle.
Going back to Erickson. Some pressure from the Rise. Back to McCaslin. Swinging that foot over top, looking for Downing, and Weller had to be careful.
Would like to see McCaslin have a bit more purpose behind her passing. It's very difficult to find an aerial ball and win that challenge already. So I think that, that needs to be to feet or at least into the vicinity of someone on her squad. That first and second ball is going to be huge for Vancouver to be able to find success. And when I remember Coach Heiner Muller back when they played Montreal and they weren't able to walk away with that win, she mentioned that it's that first and second ball that's so important to them and being able to dominate that part of their game. And I think today they just have to step it up a slight bit, be able to find feet, and in those challenges really come out intensely and find win the first and second ball.
I see Coward asking for someone to show. Coward pushing forward now to Longhurst. Back to McCaslin. Chersky. Filippo looking for Chang. Weller, the veteran move, saying, I'm not going one-on-one here. And gets her team to reset. Calm things down these final 10 minutes of the opening half. Downing does well to win it back. Nice little piece of skill. Mina. Chu going one-on-one against Wright. The shot! And McCaslin leaps out of the air and makes sure nothing bounces around.
That all starts from a great effort from Downing, her ability to be that spark plug and be able to find the moments of when to pounce. You don't want someone running at you full speed. She is not someone that gives up, and that's one quality that I absolutely love about her game. She has the mentality that she is not going to let you by her. So it was great on her to be able to create that, and we spoke about Chu earlier, being able to get up the pitch and help them in the attack. So she does get a shot off there. Obviously didn't end the way she wanted exactly, but to have her continuously get involved in the attack is huge and get numbers forward for this Ottawa side. You see her do a nice little skill to be able to come back inside. She's able to get it off, just not enough power behind it. It was right into the gloves of McCaslin. Didn't have to move too much for that. But I do think that, again, she is somebody that's so capable. She was at a perfect distance to try it, just wasn't able to get her foot through it quite enough.
Chu pushing forward again, fouled by Lee.
A bit of a pullback there. But again, you want Chu on the ball. Ooh, that turf burn does not.
Oh, turf burn.
Yeah,
Don't miss that.
Not at all. Not even a little bit. But that is what she's creating for herself, being able to get in those 1v1 positions, take people on. You're seeing her bravery. You're seeing her tenacity. She's a very fun player to watch, and you're seeing her confidence grow, I would say, each game in what she's able to do on and off the ball.
Chu looking to the far post, a little too high for any connection with DB Pridham. Chu still wiping off all the turf burns and all the tires.
I feel the stinging. I feel the stinging
Yes.
just looking at it.
If you felt it before, folks, you know how it feels. Hagman under duress and Downing again. Downing, maybe a little extra sauce in her plate tonight, being a Vancouver native.
Yeah, there's definitely something to prove here for her. I'm sure there's that little internal battle. You always want to, go home and play against, not go home, but you want to play against your hometown and really just show them what it's all about. Show them what they're missing.
That was a no-no for Adamek. So a free kick for Vancouver. Chang moving forward. She's got Lee on the right side. Lee going against Chu. Has to pass back, the cross is in. Peczerski trying to get it under control. DiFilippo popping it over top. Hagman from distance.
Congestion that Ottawa is creating in and around their 18. They are not giving Vancouver the time of day to take a touch, to strike it, and that's what you want. You want that compactness. You don't want teams to be able to strike, and as dangerous as Vancouver is, they're not able to create anything super dangerous and on goal at this moment because of Ottawa's defensive ability. I think that Vancouver has to be a little quicker in their decision making up front. You'd love to see Longhurst trying it from distance. She's another player that absolutely has that in her back pocket and can strike from distance.
Ball touched away from Scott, and Vancouver in attack now. Longhurst overlapping with Wright. To Hagman. And they'll start back to Cowart.
I just don't think there's enough movement off the ball right now for this Vancouver side. You're seeing Cowart look up, you're seeing Weller look up, and there's just not enough. You're seeing Spencer really kind of come into the middle, trying to leave that flank for Peczerski. But once that space is dead and you're not able to receive the ball, you do have to get out of it. And I think right now they're sort of standing in the space, and they're not really helping their teammates out when they're on the ball looking for someone to pass to.
Under 5 minutes left in this opening half. Deep throw in for Vancouver. They'll have it another go at it. Spencer. Ottawa manages to get it out of trouble. Scott to Scott. Gibson under pressure. Scott under pressure. A nice touch to get out of it.
You're seeing that calmness and that experience from Scott in those tight moments. She doesn't look phased at all.
The pass in, Downing. Tried to turn back.
The partnership that's forming between Stella Downing and Pridham is very exciting. I think that they're players that play off each other very well. We're seeing, that spark plug energy from Downing, and you're seeing that creativity and that ability to come off the front and really start the play from Pridham. We know that she's so great at that, whether she's beginning the play or she's the one getting the goal, as we've seen. But she's just such a strong player, and Downing is a great complement to her.
Well tackled by Chang. And Pechersky's right in there, getting stuck in off the face. Scott. Harrison Gibson. Down into Chu. Lee having a go from distance, just not enough on it, but the build-up play was nice.
You see it right away, Chu's recognition to go up. You see her start to creep as Gibson has the ball in the middle of the park and being able to find Mina's feet. And she does get one off, again, as you said, just not enough behind it. But those are the plays that are going to create a lot of problems for Vancouver's back line. Again, Chu doing great things, being able to get forward and just start that attack for them. And Lee doing what she does best, in being in the middle of the park and finding the ball.
Vancouver with the minutes winding down in this opening half, looking for a little bit of something, a spark here going into the second half. Trailing 1-0. The cross in! DeFilippo was right there.
I think Sam Chang has been a very big bright spot for this Vancouver side in the first half. You're seeing her active on both sides of the ball. She's helping lead her team, but also getting very involved in the attack and getting those balls in as well as creating and starting the attack.
She got caught up in the turf. Gibson. Liv Scott.
And even if they do, it's like, oh, she just fell. Do you know who scored?
Adamek looking for the long throw. Pridham is there. Howard shutting that down. Well, Adamek earning a corner kick, and the Ottawa player saying, hey, you can't blow the whistle then.
Yeah,
I think she was already in the process of blowing the whistle.
Unfortunate timing for them. I would be frustrated as well, not gonna lie, but at least they do have one on the board heading into this second half.
Well, DB Pridham was the goal scorer thanks to a nice cross from Melanie Forbes. It's the Ottawa Rapid 1, Vancouver Rise 0. But 45 minutes left to play. We'll have more at half. You're watching the Northern Super League on CBC Gem. presented by BMO. The Ottawa Rapid FC up 1-0 on Vancouver Rise from TD Place Stadium in the nation's capital. Young fans taking in this game, fans of all ages, and they're pretty happy right now to see their hometown club on top. Well, as for the first half highlights, Jess, it was Ottawa getting things going in the 11th minute.
Yeah, this is a great ball through by Gibson to be able to find Forbes, and Pridham doing what she does best, which is crashing, bringing that aggressiveness, bringing that tenacious ability to crash and find the back of the net. Great recognition by Forbes to play that across. I just think that Ottawa in the first, I would say 15-ish minutes, we were saying, everyone's trying to find their footing, but you saw them really come alive as the half went on. They were a lot more confident living on the ball in their opponent's half. You saw them create a lot of trouble for Vancouver when they were building, as well as just building out of their own back line and creating a lot of opportunities.
Well, between Mina and Stella Downing, there was also a lot of sparks up front.
Yeah,
but Vancouver also had an opportunity just to Filippo from distance.
Yeah, I was just going to chime in. Sorry, Signa. I think that, there has been a lot of opportunities for Vancouver in the sense of shots from distance. And I think that that's hats off to Ottawa's ability to be compact and not allow them close to their goal. But I think it needs to be better from Vancouver. There needs to be a lot more movement off the ball. You're seeing when their backline has it, whether it's Weller or Cower, they're sort of looking for someone to just come off the front. And you have people coming off the front in DiFilippo, but then when she does come, there's no options around her. So I just think that they need to clean it up a little bit to be able to find the back of the net potentially in the second half.
Well, it was a lot of Ottawa in that opening half, and the possession doesn't necessarily play that game, but the shots do. And is that what stands out to you?
Yeah, I think that, both these sides were able to create some opportunity, but I think that Ottawa was a lot more purposeful in their opportunities, and they were able to, of course, get on the scoreboard, but aside from that, just their abilities to create that dangerous attack. I think that Vancouver, a lot of times, we were seeing them get more confident in just sort of playing the ball around, and that's probably where majority of their possession comes from, but there wasn't much danger in when they did possess the ball.
Well, there's 45 minutes left to play in this matchup, Week 5 of the Northern Super League between the Ottawa Rapid FC and Vancouver Rise. It is 1-0 for the home side right now. You're watching NSL on CBC Gem. We'll be back in just a moment.
Who was the first female soccer player that you saw that inspired you personally?
She wasn't necessarily the first one I saw, but Charmaine Cooper is a total Canadian legend.
I was obsessed with Charmaine Hooper growing up.
I have never seen a more ripped individual.
Honestly, she's a black female athlete, right? And as a young kid growing up, there wasn't as many in the sport, I would say.
Watching her on the national team and her combination of both just physical dominance and technical skill was something that I really admired, and I wanted to be like her.
I was a forward, and I could see another black woman playing football at the highest level and just ripping down the field because she's faster than everybody else. It was really inspiring, and I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to be that lady. Yeah, hopefully I can have that same impression on young people out there.
Have you met Charmaine before?
I met Charmaine once. We were playing the US and we were having our pregame meeting in BC Place. It was John Herdman inspirational speech. And we were walking out of BC Place and she was standing there. And I'm 25 years old at this point, but I still melted when I saw her. I was so nervous. And I don't even think I said any words to her. I just awkwardly was like, hey, I'm Quinn, bye.
Just an absolute joy to play with. She was a total beast, such an incredible leader, and I think such an important part of our the history of our program. And I remember when I was first a roommate, I was so nervous. And she's just a wonderful human being that I think changed the game forever for Canadians.
Does she know that you kind of feel this way about her at all?
I don't know if she knows, but she definitely made a huge impact on my life. Yeah, I think that the reason this league is so important, and I keep saying it, is that representation. And when you see someone who's a little bit more similar to you, it ignites like a fire, because all of a sudden this dream that seemed to be like way out there and something you could never reach now becomes something that's like in the palm of your hand.
I think it's just showing the girls here that they can grow up to something. Like right now, I feel like it's very hard to go abroad because the pathway is not clear for Canadians. And now that there's a path that's clear here, they can really know what they have to do to get to that pro level and do it.
I'm super excited about it. Like very grateful for this opportunity. I wasn't sure I would ever get the chance to play at home.
I'm really excited to be home and play in front of the fans and everybody. And I think a domestic league is extremely important, because I believe that iron sharpens iron. I just want to be a player in this league that people can look up to, boys, girls, whatever.
The Northern Super League is going to have so much impact. You now can see what you can be. Before, you had to leave our country to go and find other opportunities, to go continue your dreams of playing pro. But now, from the grassroots all the way up to the pros, you have something to aspire to and something that you can work towards. And this is going to be integral in that pathway of just allowing girls to see that they can go play pro right here in our backyard.
Welcome back to the nation's capital. Beautiful night in Ottawa, 22 degrees. Welcome summertime, and welcome to all of you watching the Northern Super League on CBC Gem. It's a 1-0 game. Ottawa Rapid on top thanks to an 11th minute goal by DB Pridham, her second goal of the season, and has fans in the stands pretty excited, and Jess, it had them off their feet as well. But we're looking for a rebound from the Vancouver Rise in the second half.
Yeah, I think we just need a little bit more intensity from them on both sides of the ball. You could see in the first, few minutes, about 10 minutes, they really wanted it. They weren't able to settle and find their footing. But as the match went on, you saw Ottawa really dominate and take control. So I would just love to see them bring a bit of the intensity to their attack, defensively not allow Ottawa so many opportunities and so much time and space, specifically in and around their 18.
Well, Katrina Peterson right there talking to Stella Downing, the young player of the week for the NSL. The 22-year-old Vancouver native has had quite a first half, been very active. Love this. Always like a good licorice snack.
I was just about to ask you, are you a Twizzlers fan?
I'm definitely a Twizzlers fan. Use some of those.
I feel it's hit or miss. Some people love it, some people hate it.
Well, Anya Heiner-Moeller and her staff mulling over some potential changes here. We'll get those to you when they come and if they come. But right now, no changes for the Ottawa Rapid. DB Pridham, always hungry for goal, her coach says. And Pridham, who has Canadian roots, says she's just pleased to be playing back on Canadian soil.
She's also just always hungry for the ball in general. She really wants the ball at her foot. She will find it if you're not able to find her.
So no changes to start this second half. Check that, Holly Ward is in the game for the Vancouver Rise. And a couple more changes as well. We'll get those to you as soon as the fourth official passes those on. Ottawa stays the same.
I mentioned wanting to see that intensity and that energy from this Vancouver side, and I think the addition of Holly Ward is huge for them, as we've seen just how much she brings to their attack and her fierceness in going 1v1 and using her pace to go at people. So I think that is a great sub on Coach Heiner-Muller's part.
So again, Holly Ward coming into the game. She's up at the left side forward position, as she has been through all matches this season. Pechersky taking a little limp there. Also into the game for the Vancouver Rise is a youth development player, number 36, Emily Wong, Canadian Youth International from Coquitlam, BC. There's Ward with the ball. Lee's calling for it. Chang looking for Longhurst. Longhurst, can she have a shot? Yes, she can. Erickson handles that, but it'll be out for a Vancouver corner. A little bit more active from the Rise already.
Yeah, this is great. Again, Holly Ward doing what she does best in getting on the ball and starting that attack. Sam Chang, the recognition to find Longhurst with that one-touch pass, and Longhurst's ability to strike it on the run and create something out of it, being able to get that corner kick.
Chang will take this one. Chang looking for that near post, the flick on from Lee, but that goes out of bounds. So the service, you know, we see Nikki Stanton on the corner kick, so the service hasn't been there tonight, although not many corner kicks like we saw the other night for the Vancouver Rise against AFC Toronto. So the Ottawa Rapid wearing their dark blue, going from right to left against Vancouver in those sunshine kits. Scott back to Erickson. Will take no chances. Downing. Creeping up on Weller. There she is against Spencer. Downing with a move by Spencer. The cross in! Right into the arms of McCaslin.
We spoke about the energy and the intensity that she brings and just being able to really creep up on people and take that. She was able to read the ball and time it to get there before Weller and was able to create a lot with her creativity and her pace. The final product, the final pass, it does need to be a little better from her. We've seen her do great things in this game already, but just would have loved to see her pull that out a little further and potentially find Pridham on the run.
Right, had to be careful with Mina there. Weller finds Pechersky, laying off to Wong. Her first touch, nice. Longhurst.
Another thing I'd love to see Vancouver really utilize is the switch of play. You're seeing if Holly Ward's able to pull a little wider or potentially get Spencer having the overlap run, it is on.
It's much better from Vancouver to start this second half. Spencer turning Forbes. Spencer trying to lay Lee in. Ward will still have it. For a throw. Ward's definitely not going to take that with that broken finger, although she says that's going to come off soon. Spencer looking for the cross. And will earn a corner kick.
This is the intensity we spoke about, the front-footedness you want from Vancouver. We've seen it from them time and time again throughout these matches. It was just sort of lacking in that first half, the energy, the intensity. So it is great to see them come out on the front foot for this second half and cause some issues for this Ottawa side.
Chang, better service this time. Erickson had to punch that away.
Well out by Erickson. Good aggressiveness and being able to really dominate in her box.
Pridham holding up. Scott to Adamek. Downing. through Pridham! Now that's a finish! DB Pridham with a brace! And it's 2-0 Ottawa early in the second half.
We spoke about her nose for goal, and man, has she showed us in this game alone. But I think that, you know, Nina is somebody that deserves so much recognition. Her ability this whole time to be able to float in those spaces is a great ball in by Adamek to Nina. She continues to fight, although almost being tripped up there, and being able to slip that through perfectly placed, perfect weight, and Pridham doing a great job to be able to bypass Erickson.
So DB Pridham. Now on top of the Golden Boot race as well. That's 3 goals on the season for DB Pridham of Ottawa. And just as Vancouver came out with a little more energy in the second half, the Rapid have said, oh no, it's our home game. 2-0 lead. Ooh, watch out. Chang winning the battle. Chersky. Does well to get out of trouble. Still Vancouver.
This is another example of that lack of movement from the Vancouver side.
Spencer. Trying to go 1v1. Adamek is on the case. Wong. Great fan support early in this NSL season from all the clubs. I was talking to sporting director Christina Kiss of the Ottawa Rapid earlier, and Ottawa has a big group of youth players in their system in the Ottawa area, and the Pian, Canada, and so on, and over 50,000 players in clubs. Nice turn by Wong. Ottawa on it, Gibson. Pridham somehow gets it over to Forbes, but Spencer breaks it up. The shot from distance, Chu tried it.
You're seeing Spencer's ability to recover, but again, she is getting caught a little too high and leaving that side too exposed for the Rapids to be able to attack and create dangerous opportunity there. Had that pass been able to come off and get to her, it would have been a lot more dangerous for them.
Scott finding Pridham. Again, looking for goal, looking for a hat trick today, perhaps. Harris finds Adamek. Forbes sprays the cross and out for a goal kick.
It's a good idea to want to get that ball in the box, but it does have to come off a little better from there. There's good opportunities that come from their crossing, and you have players like Pridham attacking the box, so I do think that Forbes has to be a little more clinical in that and being able to find her accuracy and get it into the player.
Scott, good tackle. Chang fouled by Gibson. Gibson, former Swedish youth international. Featured in every match for Ottawa this season and has formed quite a nice partnership with Desiree Scott in that midfield.
See the organization of Ottawa's ability to defend, that you see Pridham and Mina choosing their moments of when to apply that pressure, but you're also seeing them compact and able to apply back pressure if they are bypassed.
Miller's pass picked off. Spencer. Bounces off Chang. Wins it back. Holly Ward. Ward going from distance. Oh, that just missed the post.
Love to see it. Holly Ward coming out and doing great things. Sam Chang not giving up, being able to find Ward with the outside of her foot, and she looks up and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna try this because I know I can hit this. It was very close. It was a good idea from her and a good strike, just unfortunately went a little too wide.
We'll see if that ignites the rise. Little fire in the belly in this second half. Down 2-0 on the road. It's a long stretch for the Rise. 4 games in 2 weeks. They're in the second game of that 4-game stint. And again, if you're just joining us, Quinn, Nikki Stanton unavailable tonight. Chang laying off for Spencer. Ward looking to go 1v1 on Adamek. Ward gets the cross in, but Erickson is there, easy peasy.
They're doing a much better job at the build-up and having that intensity to cause Ottawa to turn over the ball and really keep the pressure on, but it's just that execution of that final pass, that final shot, that final cross right now that they just need to clean up a little bit, but it is coming as this game has progressed. We've seen them take a big stride into this half.
Looking over top, wins it back. Downing. Moving forward. Wright does well to stop that attack.
That didn't come off the way that Downing wanted, but you just see the mentality. She looked up, she saw so many numbers. She was numbers down. She said, I'm still gonna try to take you on. I'm gonna go for it.
Harris well up. Desiree Scott in the box, DB Pridham. The flag goes up for offside. Seeing another substitution for Vancouver, Samantha Chang, who's had an excellent outing today. One of the bright spots for Vancouver coming out. And Ane Ularbi coming in. This is her second action of the season. Came in for Quinn when Quinn picked up a knock in the game against AFC Toronto. Ottawa on the front foot. Downing took a swing at it. So did Ularbi. Harris, a nice turn to escape Lee. And that'll go out for a throw.
I think we are going to see Longhurst step up a little bit more now. She is obviously in the middle of the pitch with two players who don't have as much experience, and I think that she's somebody that brings so much to this side, to the Vancouver side. We saw Sam Chang really, demanding excellence from her squad through her own play and being that leader, and I think that Longhurst is going to step up in this half and just continue to lead her side to the 90th minute.
Nice ball through and a corner kick won. I thought it was a corner kick, calling goal kick. Some discussions over what they're going to do. Scott. Harris, it's broken up by Longhurst. And Ottawa quick to collapse, quick to win it back. Mina.
You see Mina continue to be involved in both the attack and defensively. She's dropped very low, and then the next second she's dropped very high. She's box to box. She does the work on both sides. She brings that creativity and that leadership, and her soccer IQ is so high. You can see it in her movements, whether she is on the ball or she is off of it.
Harris closed down. Wong. Longhurst battling with Scott. Scott out for a throw. Galen right into Lee. And that will go out for a corner. An opportunity for Vancouver to get on the board here. Larby will take the corner kick. "20 minutes into this second half, a 2-0 game. Vancouver trying to get back into this thing. A nice delivery. Spencer, top of the box, blocked. Great battles going on. Intensity picking up. restart. They've had some good combination play, just missing a little bit in that final third. But this is a better second half from Vancouver.
It absolutely is a better second half. Again, you're seeing the intensity, you're seeing those individual efforts really come alive. You're seeing a lot of great things from them. It's just a matter of really putting together the pieces in the final third and being able to redirect them towards goal.
Pridham, just a little too far for Adamek, but Ottawa connecting as they have been from the very kickoff today. Ward. Handled by Harris. Spencer to Ward, trying to go back to Spencer. Mina picks it up. A great touch leads to this. Some time and space for Chu. Chu with the mag. Oh, that's nice.
Not much else she could do in that situation. She obviously ran herself a little bit into trouble. Numbers for Vancouver in the middle of the park there. You had Downing really trying to open up the game and provide that wide option as well. But great recognition to switch it.
Forbes looking for Pridham. And Pridham's looking for that third goal. Right, trying to get this out of trouble. Handled by Harris. Luke Scott. All the way back to Erickson. Back and forth. Sharing of opportunities in this second half. It's Ottawa with the advantage. Vancouver push themselves forward a little bit more direct. Here comes Mariah Lee. There's too much pace on that for Pachirski.
It's very much just that final pass right now that's lacking a little bit, but Riley does well to come off the front and really hold the defenders off and spin that, but just that final pass needs to be a little bit better, a little bit more clinical.
Stella Downing takes a well-deserved break, the 22-year-old from Vancouver, the Rookie of the Week. A round of applause for her today. And into the game, Julia Benatti, 28-year-old, FC London captain in League One Ontario, coming in. Lisa Peczerski. Peczerski looking across. Oh, she might have wanted to curl that one in.
I thought she was going to try it from there. Just a little bit overhit. I think it hit the outside of her foot a little more than she wanted. It curved the wrong way and was a bit overhit for Ward to be able to get on the end of that. But that you want Lisa Peczerski to go at people. You want her to take people on and get the ball in the box. So I would love to see more of that from her.
First action of the season, you see the substitute there, Ariel Young, coming into the game. Young is an Ottawa native, so a lovely moment for her to get her first action. Former youth international. Played at the FIFA Under-17 World Cup and U20.
Correct.
Had a cap as a 16-year-old with the senior team as well. And at center back today.
Vancouver continue to be higher up the pitch and apply that pressure to Ottawa, not allowing them to build out of the back as easily as they allowed them to in that first half.
Weller will see that over the touchline. Two goals from DB Pridham. One in the 11th minute and one just after the second half began. Just as Vancouver started to find their footing in this match. That's the difference tonight.
That second goal came in a very crucial point. You're seeing Vancouver sort of start to dominate the rhythm and get their footing. And after that, you saw Ottawa wake up a little bit more again and bring back that energy that we saw them have in the first half. You are still seeing Vancouver have that intensity and that fight. They haven't backed off, which is great for them. And I do potentially believe that there is one in there for them if they just continue to bring this intensity and this effort.
Those young fans have all the merch. I'm a big fan of all the branding of all the teams. I think they knocked it out of the park, all 6 clubs.
They do look great.
In the Northern Super League. Liv Scott-Well up. Mina. Decides to pull back. Goes all the way back to Harris. Nice touch from Bonatti to Desiree Scott. And back to Bonatti. Oh my, that's a great finish! Wow. The substitute Bonatti with her first goal in Northern Super League.
That is a goal that absolutely shows Bonatti's IQ. She started it and she finished it. Great ball through by Desiree Scott, but Bonatti being able to come off the front, find Desiree Scott, and continue her run. It's a great ball in by Harris. A little cheeky touch outside of the foot. Desiree Scott looking up. You know what? I'm going to play with the outside of my foot too. Just a great finish by her. Wow, so 3 outside of the foot, but great recognition to be able to chip that into that corner. That was a great goal.
So kids, work on the inside, work on your laces, work on the outside of your foot. You saw it there from Giulia Bonatti. Everyone thrilled for her. She opens her account in the Northern Super League, and it's 3-0 for the Ottawa Rapid. You saw Jasmine Spencer, one of the leaders on this Vancouver Rise team, pulling everyone together saying, come on, right here, right now, let's get things going.
And that's what you need. You need the leadership in these moments. It's easy to, ride the high when you're doing well and your team is winning, but it's in these moments that you want someone to really pull it together, give your team a shake, hold yourself accountable, but also just continue forward. Give yourself that little slap on the wrist and say, we're going to forget about it from this moment on. It's 0-0 and we're going to go win the rest of this half.
So So Weller back to Young. Young looking forward. Have a couple of young center backs that have been up the ranks in the Canadian system over the years. Ariel Young being one of them. Kennedy Faulkner, also with the Vancouver Rise, unavailable today. Ottawa Rapid fans getting into the game here. Longhurst looking forward. Lee, nice touch off. Ularbi. Longhurst has to turn back. Chersky, good first touch. And a nice move, little too much. But again, that collapsing Ottawa defense.
They don't allow you the ability to continue to cheat. She beat one, she beat two. You have to take it at that point.
But Wright's going one-on-one. Broken up. Desiree Scott on her horse. She gets it. Finding Pridham tangled up in the feet. Young to Longhurst. Just trying to switch the play, but Adamek right there. Nina. Barbie closed that down, but Mina picks up the trash and out the other side, finding Forbes. Gibson over top. Adamek. Mina sends the cross in. Oh! And over top.
Continues to find and expose that right flank. They're able through Adamek, through Forbes. We've been seeing so many chances come off of that right flank. And then for Mina to also resend that ball into Forbes. She wasn't overhitting it. She was finding someone, being able to create something for her side.
Mariah Lee out of the game and Nedya Swan into the game. Swan, an Egyptian international, but born in the United States. Standout at the University of Portland. 34 goals in her collegiate career.
Right. Like they're just crawling on my arms.
Ward. Ward trying to find some space for an opportunity at goal. Right back to Longhurst. Ularbi. Out for a throw. Quick one. Longhurst and Scott battling. Scott does well. Used to those challenges in her 186 7 caps with the Canadian national team.
You're seeing Larby try to get involved in that attack and create some combination play for them on the flank. You're seeing Longhurst get involved, fighting with Desiree Scott there, but just being able to get forward and get in the 18, that's what they need. They need numbers forward. They need all hands on deck right now to at least get themselves on the board.
Just under 10 minutes remaining in this match between The Ottawa Rapid up 3-0 right now on Vancouver Rise in front of their home fans at TD Place Stadium in the nation's capital. A lovely turn from DDB Pregame. Pregame was trying to curl it in, didn't quite have the final curve on it, but looking for goal number 3.
It's a great individual effort, a little bit of cheekiness from her, showing her skill, taking players on. She decided to try it. Again, there's so many players on this pitch that have that ability to strike the distance. She's absolutely one of them. You know she can find the back of the net, whether it's from the top of the 18 or inside the 6. So you don't mind when a player like that tries it. She might have potentially, you can see Forbes running off the screen, but she potentially could have threaded that through to Forbes. But you love to see her try it, especially when she's had such a great night.
Mina, South Korean international, just such quality. The team with the 2 Korean players, of course, Chu and Mina, and when they built this team from scratch, when they were just starting out, they had a couple of Korean translators come in just to help. But as Katrina Peterson said, they speak the language of football, so they only use them on occasion when they need to. But Mina and Chu settling in well into their time with the Ottawa Rapid. Ward looking for Sawan. Larby. Sawan and Longhurst. Switching the play to Wright. Wright waiting for a run. Wright will go herself. And the cross in. Ularbi can't get it out of her feet. And Desiree Scott earns another free kick.
Got to be ready for that ball to come across, potentially land at your foot. I don't think she was ready for that to come to her. Exactly, she took a bit of touch, it rolled up her, and then you had, Desiree Scott right on her. You knew that Ottawa is not a team that is going to allow you any time and space, as we've seen. They're very compact. They make sure to congest the middle of the park, especially in and around that 18. So it just needs to be a little cleaner, needs to be more aware that the ball can potentially fall at her foot in that situation for a large.
Finds Benatti, and Benatti swinging a ball over top. That's Forbes, and a timely tackle from Ariel Young.
Benatti continues to show her quality since she's been on the pitch, being able to get the ball in that half space, turn, recognize, to be able to switch the play to Forbes, and Forbes doing a good job at reading that and really getting forward. Unfortunate that it was a good defensive effort by Vancouver, but great on Forbes to get in there as well.
Forbes on the corner. Swinging and headed away by Sawan. Ularbi. Finding Longhurst. Trying to go over top was Wright.
Longhurst is doing a good job at finding the ball and switching the play for her side. We've seen her involved in pretty much every single build-up. She's been instrumental for them. I know I mentioned we thought we would see her really step up as the half went on and Chang stepped out, and I do think that we've seen that from her. She's getting a lot more involved in the attack. She's being able to start the attack for her side by recognizing when the switch is on.
Well, with 5 minutes left in this game, Desiree Scott exits, and into the match, the 16-year-old youth development contract, Naomi Lofthouse, seeing her second action of the season as well. Free kick for the Rise.
Good little delay tactic. You stand in front of the ball, you pretend you have no idea what's going on. I love it. That was my favorite.
Ularbi. Swinging cross in. Another nice delivery just off the shin of Ward, potentially, although looks like a corner kick.
This is a good delivery. I would like to see it a little bit deeper for more players to be able to crash that and have Holly Ward be able to come right through it. But overall, it was a good delivery.
Ularbi again going to the penalty spot, and Young's header wide. Desiree Scott. The leader with the Ottawa Rapid, taking a break with her team up 3-0. A dominant performance today from the Rapid. 2 goals from DB Pridham, 1 from Julia Benatti, assisted by Desiree Scott. And Benatti winning the battle. Gibson to Benatti. And Wright gets back, out for throw. House, 16-year-old. What an experience for these youth development players to have a taste of Northern Super League action. Of course, not under any compensation, just to keep their eligibility alive for colleges and so on.
Just to point out the hunger of Ottawa, I think that they're up 3 goals. You'd see some teams just continue to sit back and allow Vancouver to sort of play. But you see them, they're on the front foot still. They very much want that 4th goal. You're seeing Mina and Pridham continue to apply pressure to both Young and Weller. They're not backing down.
They'll be pressured by Chu. Right, has to go back to Weller. Young looking for that delivery, headed away, not out of trouble. Sawan trying to turn and cleared by Harris.
Ottawa has also dominated that first and second ball challenges today, and I think that is one thing that has made the biggest difference for them. You can see their hunger, they're not backing down even with this lead, but just in general, they're first to every ball, and they're able to repossess that ball that they've already won.
4 minutes of added time. A chance for Vancouver to break this clean sheet, but Ottawa has a handle on this game as they have from the very get-go. That'll be a foul on DB Pridham. On Shannon Weller. Young pumps the ball over top. Sawan against Harris. Harris, very solid. On loan from the Houston Dash and really showing her quality. And the applause for this woman, Mina Lee.
Very well-earned applause.
Chu Hai-Ju coming out. Miranda Smith coming into the game, the 29-year-old from Ottawa. And Melanie Forbes coming out as well. Ugarte, another youth development contract coming into the match for Ottawa. Another 16-year-old. Weller finding Sawan. The touch forward to too much for Jalen Wright.
It's really that final connection that's still just missing for Vancouver. We've seen them pick up intensity and energy in this half and see that heart. They're really wearing it on their sleeve. You know they want to get on the board. It's just unfortunately not coming together in execution in that final third, whether it's a pass, whether it's that combination play, getting the ball across the box, or delivery on set pieces.
Young looking forward to Ward. Katrina Peterson said she wanted her team to be on the front foot, especially in those first 30 minutes. She got a goal in the 11th minute from DB Pridham, and the Rapid have not looked back. Three-0 deep into added time against the Vancouver Rise. So on that hold-up play, couldn't find a target though. Harris takes the ball away from Longhurst. Chersky just gets it by Mina. Final seconds of added time. Weller with the ball over top. It'll go all the way through for a goal kick. Well, an emphatic home victory for the Ottawa Rapid. 2 goals from DB Pridham, 1 from Julia Bonatti, and a clean sheet for Molly Erickson. An all-around effort against the Vancouver Rise. And the 3 points go to the Rapid.
Yeah, I think this was a very well-deserved win for them. They were able to hold their intensity and really be on the front foot the entirety of the match. They absolutely dominated that. Big night for Pridham, but I think one thing to mention is that all those goals came off of not just great individual efforts and talent, but they were great team goals. You saw a lot of combination play leading up to them, and you're just really seeing this side come together and find that fluidity in their combination, in those partnerships, and they're continuing to build. It was unfortunately not the greatest night, I would say, for Vancouver. We did see some bright spots, just seemed that they lacked that intensity on both sides of the ball in the first half. There were, again, bright spots, but that final pass, that final cross, their clinicalness is just missing. So I do think that they need to step it up, go back to the drawing board a little bit and just look inward and figure it out for that next game.
And as Anja Heiner-Moller said, that they were going to do some rotations on this 2-week stretch of games where they have 4 matches. They're in the second match of 4. Let's take a look at the statistics for today's match. It was the Rise, a little bit more possession, playing a lot across the back between Weller and Cowart and Young, but the shots and just the direct play of Ottawa.
Yeah, I don't think if you looked at the possession, you wouldn't necessarily think that the game ended the way it did. But as to your point, the Rise did have possession in the sense of keeping it and just playing it across the back. Again, bright moments for them, but I just think that this was very much a dominant performance by the Rapids, and the total shots says that alone. So 7 on target, 14 shots total, like that's pretty good.
Say so. They had 17 last game, 14 today. In the end, it's a 3-0 win. TD Place sent home happy in this one. Stella Downing, the Vancouver native, A nice outing from that 22-year-old young star of the week in this one. But really a total team effort.
A lot for her to be proud of tonight. I think Downing had a great matchup, and just in general, this team has a lot to be proud of. We're seeing them grow into their identity in each matchup, being more active in the final third and being able to finish. Now we're seeing they can finish. They're so great in the build-up and just being active in the opponent's final third and controlling the dynamic and rhythm of the match.
Well, it's happiness on one side tonight, the Ottawa Rapid there, and regrouping on the other side for the Vancouver Rise, but it's 3-0 the final. 2 goals from DB Pridham, 1 from Julia Bonatti, the clean sheet, and Katrina Peterson's team picking up the 3 points. You're watching NSL on CBC Gem.